Namaste and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul forward living with me, your host, Jess Juntunen. And as always, it is a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you for your patience as we got technology up and running. And here we are live every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for radiant wellness and soul forward living. And today it is all about the heart. It is about the balance. It is about calling in that greater balance that exists within each of us, but we have to be willing to step into receiving that balance and coming into our heart. It's all about the heart. So, this episode, we are diving deep into heart centered awareness, into the energy of balance, because June is a big month of balance. It is a balancing energy. And this week is powerful. So if you're catching this live or catching the recording, just know it's the perfect time. But if you're catching it this week at any point, this is June 8th today. In just a couple days, on June 10th, we will be in the new moon, a solar eclipse. It's kind of the closing of that opening we had with the lunar eclipse a few weeks ago and the full moon. It's powerful and it's an up level date. And what do I mean by up level date? There are key dates all throughout the year 2021, and we had many in 2020 as well. And these are dates that carry a extra profound oomph of energy that is designed like a portal. And in this case, this month, it's going to be a void experience. It's going to be very much about transiting into the void and the birth. So, the vision that we've been carrying, and I've talked about this every week on air and shared a lot about this also on Soul Mirrors with Master Lady Kira Ra, where I appear once a month. And I was on last week, was my show for the month, the first Tuesday of the month. And I highly recommend checking out Soul Mirrors last week and check out Soul Mirrors every week and Shri and Kira Live if you want to keep pace with the energies and what is happening and track, bar none, the best, most amazing information out there to tap into. Go to official Shri and Kira on YouTube. Go to Oneness Talk Radio and check out Soul Mirrors is on there. Check it out, because if you are tracking with this, and if you're out there, I know a lot of people that follow me are tracking with this. It's pretty mind blowing how things really do line up. And we have the blessing of this up level calendar that you can go and get for a donation of like $4 from shriandkira.com. And every month it gives you the peak dates and moments and what to look for. And we are coming out of Mercury retrograde also, right? So that calendar, get it and look at it, because this Thursday is the new moon, solar eclipse, lift Mercury retrograde, peak up level moment, intense. And likely you are feeling some intense feels surrounding this week, because we're already in the energy. We're already feeling it moving into the void and the vision that you have been carrying. And the choice that you have made in May, whether you're conscious or not, is very present right now. So it is a moment to really get clear on your vision and just reflect on what choices and what events have been in front of you that have got your attention, and maybe notice the ones that you haven't been paying attention to because your attention is somewhere else. Really be with that and honor what comes forward, because our awareness is the gateway to our ascension and lifting up. And our heart, the high heart center, this is the perfect balance that's coming in. So what else is happening on Thursday? And it has to do with the heart, and it has to do with the breath. It is Avesa breath practitioner training and certification attunement process. So, what does that mean if you have no idea what I'm talking about? Avesa is the energy of our awakened presence in form. It's the remembrance of the divine within. And Avesa is an ancient Sanskrit word and an attunement process. You know, the Sanskrit word for Avesa literally would translate into hail to the divine empowerment within. It is about an awakening and remembrance of who we truly are. It's not ever gone, it's not outside of us. We spend most of our lives looking outside of us for the answers, the answers within. And through the attunement with Avesa, you remember, I mean, you will birth anew. And so on Thursday, free to the world, absolutely free, Sri Ramka and Master Lady Kira Ra are attuning all who are called to the Avesa and the breath. And it is one of the most simple yet powerful attunements that you can do. You can gain greater balance just by activating this breath. And you can teach others to do the same, whether that's your family, children, or you have a practice. Maybe you are a health practitioner in some regard or wellness, and you want to bring something else into your practice. This is also for you. And it's the gateway. It is the gateway. And, you know, it's really a gift to humanity, because the reason why this is free to the world, among many reasons, is that the world needs breath right now. The world needs balance right now. And the more of us that can claim our greater awareness, our balance, and activate our breath and take a couple conscious breaths a day. Just a few. I mean, to really take a conscious breath and be only with the breath is quite a practice. If you could do that just a few times a day, the world shifts, because our presence matters. It is our presence that uh, it affects everything else around us. So, are we being affected by everything else around us, looking outside of us, or are we the generator of our own eternal presence and allowing that to move out into the world? And for those beings in the world that are ready to receive that blessing, receive it without maybe even ever knowing who you are, just because you affected the whole through your awakened presence. So Avesa breath practitioner training. I mean, join it. It is go to shriankira.com. You are going to see it on the registration page. If you have any issue finding it, just email me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com. I am happy to send you the link. Get over to Shri and Kira on their Facebook page, and you will see plenty of posts right there with opportunities for registering for this amazing moment for all of us. So that's huge. And then, if that's not enough that's going on that day, there will be a new moon ceremony. And those of you that have been following along with me for a while, or have known me, know that every month I do a new moon ceremony. And this month, that's June 10th, the new moon solar eclipse Avesa ignition attunement day. So, if you want to get in on both, they're both free. My new moon ceremony is a donation event. I offer this service as my gift to the world. If you would like to offer me a little support back, the suggested donation is $4.44. But really, I mean, there's no requirement. Just come and be, and give what you would like from your heart, or just offer your love and presence, right? And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, that the new moon ceremony happens. And right as the new moon ceremony concludes, you'll have a few minutes. I will break before the Avesa breath practice. So we'll work for 55 minutes in our new moon ceremony, where you receive uh, practices. We do practices together. We will work with the Avesa breath together in preparation for the Avesa practitioner training. We always invoke the Avesa breath during our ceremonies, and we will be really in that energy of the void and the birthing together. So I love these gatherings. You know, you can come, you can be on camera or not if you don't want to, and just participate. But, you know, giving yourself a quiet space to really honor these new moons are illuminated. they carry a lot of energy. So by coming together in a group, and then we always close with a channeled meditation and ceremony to support the alignment with our vision and what we're calling forth and our greater balance. It's always powerful. People always feel uplifted. And after that, we will move right into, if you sign up for both, the Avesa practitioner attunement process, and whether or not you think you're ever going to teach someone else's breath, I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, you probably will, but that doesn't have to be your goal, because the attunement that you are going to receive and the gifts that you're going to receive by just doing this process with yourself is going to help so many other people. So many just beautiful things happening. And look, it is a eclipse, right? So everything might be showing up in front of your face dancing over this last week or so. The Mercury retrograde has been powerful. There's a lot of, are you empowered or not? Are you living your truth or not? Are you ready to anchor the gifts that are in front of you? Are you ready to say yes to you and you and you and you and your path? That's what's on order. That's what's on the table right now. So I would love to hear from you guys. How is this week feeling? Do you have any sharings or miracles in your life that you would like to share? Or would you like to request a mini reading? You can call in to 517-208-1500, 517-208-1500, and get in the call line queue, and I can bring you into the show. I would love to hear. Yeah, if you have a sharing, if you have a question about, what we're talking about here today, or you would like a mini reading, please do 517-208-1500. And yeah, and in this moment, just feeling into the heart, right? The balance. So this show, being about the heart of balance, it does begin with the heart. And I was reflecting as I was walking today, and I picked these beautiful lilacs up here in northern Michigan. Spring takes longer, and it's that much more delicious when it comes. So our lilacs just started blooming in the last week, and it's full spring, and it's so amazing because I always reflect upon rebirth, of course, when we're in spring and rebirth, and wherever you are, just connecting with the cycles of nature, I think really helps us put things into perspective sometimes, right? So as I'm walking and just breathing and realizing how really important it is to breathe like up and fully, like to lift up as we breathe and connect, and to really become aware of your patterned breath. Because in order for the heart, which is the root center of our ascended state of being, to completely activate and lift up, we have got to come into the stillness of the moment. We have to come into our complete presence and anchor here. And there's so many ways that we can call in greater balance. There is the lower three chakras. That's our foundation of our earthly body. That's the foundation of like the house, so to speak, right? If you don't have the foundation solid and straight of the house, the whole house will be crooked. So our foundational chakras, if you're familiar with chakras, the root, sacral, solar plexus, that really is the uh, place where our body and emotions and all of those things reside. Once we get to the heart and then we lift up and we're through the third eye and up, if we're anchored in the heart, we open a 12-pointed chakra system, and the heart is the root. But that foundation must be really safe feeling. So, how are you creating that safety for your body, for your emotions? And how are you clearing? As I was walking today, I had to do a lot of clearing myself, just because it's easy. We all have to clear our energy. We all have to do it. And doing it outside is such a great place for me to do that. So we have to really pay attention to what our energy field feels like. We just have to begin to cultivate the awareness of, hey, I'm feeling good right now. I'm not feeling so good right now. What was I engaging in? Where was my energy? Do I need to clear? Do I need to release? Do I need to surrender over my ego? Do I need to call in greater love and balance into my life? Being aware is the start of lifting into our ascended presence, into our multidimensional space. So pay attention, notice. And if there's something that's speaking or calling out or activated, it could be a voice of jealousy, could be a voice of condemnation or judgment, which are the same thing. It could be a distraction that just pulled you away from your source flow, and you just got off course because you were distracted and went back into concerns of the ego and predominated by the mind, right? And personality happens to everybody. It's the awareness that is the key to lifting and really attending to what is dancing in front of us. If there is discomfort, if there's pain in the body or emotions or mind, and likely if it's going on in one place, it's going on in all the others. By the time it expresses in our body, it's been there for a while. A pattern has been there for a while. So the body talks, and that's usually what we listen to. And then there's a lot of uncovering to do. But pay attention. What are your needs? What does your body need? And breath is like the first medicine. It's the first line of defense and also one of the most powerful ones. Pay attention to your breath. Are you breathing in fully and exhaling? Do you breathe shallow? Do you hold it? How does it change according to um, the stressors in the day? Are you able to call back a conscious breath when you're stressed? It will become automatic and a habit, but it takes time to continue to do that practice. And the heart, the ascended heart, is when everything opens, everything becomes possible, but it must begin with focused awareness of that breath. And when you notice the heart and the Avesa, the Ave is the beat of the heart, the Sa is the breath. Your heart is always beating and circulating the essence of life, which is joy. But if joy does not feel present, if it does not feel like there's joy, great, because then you have the awareness. I'm not feeling and experiencing joy in my life, maybe in this area or place, or maybe it's everywhere. So getting to the heart means what brings you joy. In order to anchor there, you must be in your joy. And it takes discernment. It really does. And discernment versus judgment are such different energies, right? When we are making a discernment, we're observing and noticing what's there. We're not judging it, saying it's good or bad. We're discerning. And we are just being with whatever is present. That right there lifts us into the fifth dimension. That right there is the fifth dimension expansion, anchored, because you're just being aware and you're now in the witness and watching. And then you're like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad this came into my awareness. I'm so glad that whatever came forth is here for me to look at now. Our body is going to be calling out in so many ways. The mind is going to be calling out. Density is going to be calling out in so many ways. We have to take care of ourselves and feed ourselves that which nourishes us, that which brings us joy. This isn't just about food. This is like brings me joy. And joy as in the state of being, not the ecstatic or emotional joy of like, oh, good, I had enough money to cover my bills today. That's an emotional joy. Or, oh, I got a new boyfriend. That's an emotional joy, right? The joy of really just being in the peace and the love, and the joy comes from that. So if joy feels really hard to choose, start with peace, because our foundational chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus, are peace, love, and joy, and that order. And you have got to come into peace. Peace knows God, divine, right? To be at peace with your divine nature, to be at peace. And like, if it's really hard to get to joy, start with building the peace. And then love, the unconditional love, can birth from the peace. Then comes the love. Then comes the joy of being in communion with the divine and God. So notice where you're at. If it's hard to be in joy, or you don't even know what brings you joy, begin with, where is my greater peace? Where is my greater peace? Because we have to have the peace, love, and joy to come into the heart of balance. And balance is an energy worth striving for. Balance is actually absolutely an energy worth striving for. So I'm going to hop over to the phone lines, and we have a few callers in the queue, and I would love to bring some into the show. Let's go here. We have unknown wireless caller. Welcome to the show. Namaste and welcome. Are you there? You have your hand raised. Hello, yes?
Hi, this is Pauline from New York.
Hi, Pauline.
Hi.
Namaste.
I hope you saw my message about the clarity card. But anyway, I keep asking, but until it happened, I guess I'm not going to worry about it. But I did want to share something. I didn't get in, of course, on, Shri and Kira show, because I go to this interstate thing on Sunday, and they always have, they had the topic of miracles. And then I looked at the holidays that they, noted, and they had something called the Sacred Heart of Jesus, I think. And it was the day after. The feast day is the day after the 10th. I found that very fascinating.
Very.
We're supposed to be focusing on love.
Very fascinating. Yeah, I love how those synchronicities and those dates and things that interweave. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I do have a question. I have requested the Shield of Zadkiel from Donna on her I forget which one it is, Insightful or Inspired.
Okay.
Conversation, I keep forgetting which show is named. Anyways, she sent them out, and I don't know if he ever opened it or not, but then he had stuff started happening. This is before I believe is my sacred union partner. I know that I'm supposed to be in sacred union with myself first, and so that's not the problem. I just was curious. But the Shield of Zadkiel, does it do anything? Because actually you mentioned that all of a sudden his angels that he's used to having around him, he's doing shamanic stuff, okay? So he said he noticed that they're standing back. They're not connecting with him as much as they used to. So I was just thinking maybe there was a change of guard. Is that a possibility? So he never understood about Zadkiel. I mentioned Zadkiel 7 years ago. He didn't know who the heck that was. And finally, when I brought it up again, I said, I'm having a Shield of Zadkiel sent to you. Because he asked Michael, he resonates with Michael, so I just mentioned the shield. And he didn't say he objected, but anyway, it was sent to him. And I think that, and he mentioned, he named a whole bunch of stuff about Zadkiel, which I didn't even know about. I only know that Zadkiel is an angel of truth.
Okay, so
my question,
yeah, what is your question?
The question is there a change of guard? Because once he connected to Zadkiel, for some reason he finally connected. And I don't even know if he really got the shield or if it's just that it was sent to him. So I
Yeah.
he opened it yet.
Yeah.
And he's going through the healing stuff. Things are happening. Ascension symptoms are starting to happen.
Okay.
To him. So that's what I'm just wondering if you have any answers for this, or should I wait it to ask Shereen Killer?
It's okay. I'm going to, answer you right now, and you just feel into this. So first, I want to thank you for calling in and your sincerity and your love, and just feel into this for a moment as you connect with the shield of Archangel Zadkiel. There is a coding within there that we recognize when you connect with this shield, when you connect with the artwork, and Pauline is sharing about the shield of Zadkiel, which came through Master Lady Kira Ra. And this is a graphic that you can get freely and share in the world. So if anyone following is like, what is she talking about? So this is an amazing, beautiful remembrance of the blue jewel that's at the center of our heart. The center of that shield is the center of our heart. So anybody that is, there's nothing that can be done to somebody. No one can have an overlay or something come in and disrupt their own flow and joy by viewing this shield, but it will stimulate an awakening in the person that is ready to receive that and a remembrance. So anybody that may work with this or use this may be receiving a remembrance of their divine nature. And there really is a changing of the guard. I mean, that I would really encourage you to just be with your process with it and allow him to have his process. But I will share, there's always so many guides and angels that are working with us, and we might have particular ones that we work with it sometimes, and ones that are really our master walking with us the whole way. But there can be shifts and flows in who comes in to offer a support and activate it. And anyone that could be interacting with the shield of Zadkiel very well, if they're open and ready to receive, are going to have a strong connection. So I invite you to just really trust and continue being with that shield in the way you're called, and invite him to just be with it as he is called, and to relax the mind from trying to have a definition for what it means or what is happening. If it feels like it's supporting alignment and activation and it feels in the highest, like, relax any of the density needs or definitions. So thank you for calling in. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day. Namaste.
Thanks so much.
And let's go over to, let's see. Oh, we've got Alice on the line from California. Welcome in.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
Beautiful. I'm so happy to connect with you today. How are you?
I am great. This is Alice.
Yes, Alice. I know. Hi. It's so awesome to connect with you today.
Thank you.
Oh.
I am calling to thank you, number one, for the reminder of breathing. Even though I stay connected with Sri and Kira and the Monday magic and everything, every day it is so helpful to be reminded to breathe with that presence. So, number one, thank you for that. I'm actually also calling because I do have a question of mini soul reading or whatever you're guided to bring forward. I work with horses. It's my love, it's my passion, it's my heart. And there seems to be a challenge making connections with the owners and getting out there in the business. So I was wondering if you might feel guided to feel into that, and if you have anything to share about that, that would be very, very gratefully received.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in, and just your sincerity and the blessing of connecting in this moment means a lot to me. And I know everyone listening is getting the blessing of this connection as well, because I do know you, but I also, in this moment, just feeling your energy, I'm just blown away by the sincerity that you command, that you have the most sincere heart, and anyone that knows you is blessed to know it. So the question that comes forward is like, I get this little like, okay, so why are you hiding? Why are you hiding? And to explore that as you are interacting, like absolutely your work with the horses. I mean, it's just pure joy and such a resonance. And then when it comes to communicating with the owners, notice where are you being, it's like, are you being you, the radiant you that you are, or is there some aspect that perhaps is hiding? And it might not just be these interactions. Where are you holding back? And where are you maybe feeling a little bit of a nudge that says, put yourself forward, be like, dare to be vulnerably joyful, like a vulnerability sometimes we think of as, oh, I have to expose the things about me that are weaknesses, but there's a vulnerability in showing up in our power that is actually like maybe sometimes the most scary moment, but it's like that's where you're at. And it's not, it's like you're noticing it in this one world of your work, but it's it's, of course, it's connected everywhere. So by just diving into what part of me is just afraid to just show my shiniest self, and go to that piece and give her some extra love and breathe into that radiance that you really are, and just drop any of that fear that says it could be dangerous to shine and show all of my gifts and all of who I am in the world. And I know that there are so many beings that are touched by you that you don't even see yet, but I also know there's so many beings that are just waiting to find you. And you just got to be out there and say, here I am. So thank you so much. And I hope and trust that supported you, my love.
Thank you.
Namaste, love.
Namaste.
Okay, awesome. Let's roll over. We have another call. Call boards are hot. Let's see. I think we've got Gary on the line. Is this Gary?
Hey, it's Namaste, Jess. How you doing?
Namaste, doing good. How are you, Gary?
I'm good. I'm chilling at home today. I decided to take a day off.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma passed over to the other side yesterday, and I'm just reflecting on our, life experiences together and how much unconditional love she really was for me. She's a beautiful person.
Yeah, I'm just like holding. Yeah, it does. I'm just like holding so much love around you right now, and just, yeah, honor all of the feelings that come forth, even when we have the bigger picture and we know, their soul is doing what they need to be doing, and we can feel and receive them always. We're gonna grieve the human aspect, and I just honor you, and it feels like she's passing on something to you in this transition.
Oh, if she don't, I'll be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
were close, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was like my mom, really.
Oh.
So, my heart just, what you said, that just that feeling of heartbreak, and it's funny, I had it the other day too, and it was really wild. Me and them were driving down the road, I started crying, man. I was real heartbroken, and it wasn't about my grandma, it was about me, and I just felt like I was having a mourning moment for the Gary that was, you know what I mean? This dude that used to be. It was wild. I said, I've never felt like this before, man. I said, but I just feel like I just grieved my death.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like the death of the Gary that, brought me to this point. And
wow.
It was an interesting feeling.
Yeah.
I never had it before, but, felt it today with my grandma a little bit, but, I didn't want to bring the show down at all.
You are not.
All,
Oh, you are not.
I know the truth, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And I mean, that is such a ascension moment to walk through when you are grieving your own self, right? When you shared that experience of just being like, oh my gosh, I'm letting go of, it is a grieving, right? The person that we were, or the personality, and all the things that made us who we were, and we know you're going through these shifts and up level, and there's a release that has to happen of what was, and there is a grief with that. There is a grief with that, and I think it's such an important step to highlight in the ascension path, because you will walk through that moment where it just feels really tender around, it's your own rebirth, you're rebirthing and you're letting go of things, and then in this moment your beloved grandmother transitions, and you're in your own rebirthing process, and it's such a tender, profound moment, and I just honor you and I honor her, because I see that she helped and created the man that stands here today, and that you have so much to come from everything that you've learned from her, from your own journey, that is birthing forward into what you're creating right now. And I just honor you and bless you and thank you for calling in, Gary.
Oh, no problem, Jess, and thank you for your blessing. I love you so much.
Thank you. Namaste, dear.
Namaste. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for calling in, everyone that has called in. And thank you for hopping over in the chat too and interacting, because this community, it's really why I show up, is because of this community and the people that are called together in these energies of, if it's self-ascension or just your divine purpose, whatever your path is, but those beings that are saying yes to their greater evolution. And to me, self-ascension is the terms for the greater evolution of consciousness, of lifting into ever higher consciousness, and to be able to connect with you, whether that's over the phone line or just here in this moment or in the recording, it means a lot, because I would not be here if it was not for each and every one of you, of us, that are continuing to say yes. We're all going to have a moment where you're invited to say no, and more than one of those. The universe will always say, are you sure? Are you really going to do this? Yes, yes, and then we move through another cycle in our evolution. And I know I would not be here if I hadn't said yes 1,000 or more times. And if it wasn't for other beings out there that maybe I might have a moment of connection with that could support them as well, that is enough for me to say I'm going to show up, even that's what it is. Wherever you're showing up in your life, there's going to be moments where you're like, I don't know if I can do this today, or I don't know if I can do this thing in front of me. And if you keep showing up and saying yes, and you are going to see the result and impact. And I know for me, it's because of all of you that I keep showing up and saying yes. And I will keep doing that, because it matters. You matter. I matter. We matter. Our voices matter. And the world right now is in a huge choice moment. I mean, we have this whole planet that is full of beings. Where are we up to? 8 billion now? Paths. They're all valid paths home to the divine, and all are ascending in their own time and place. And those that are ready to be awake and be with their process of ascension and awakening are really doing a lot of work on behalf of so many. And it's not easy every day to keep saying yes. I know it. You will be challenged in every way, because there are so many beings committed to things not changing and being the way they've been. The fear, the pain, the grief, the suffering on this planet is huge, and it will suck people in. And that is why Oneness Talk Radio is so important. That's why the Avesa breath is so important. And then on June 19th, we have the solstice. The solstice. I love the solstice, right? And this solstice, huge moment, of course, again, 2021. It's huge moments. This solstice is big, and I will be part of a worldwide global event from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern on the solstice. This is a donation event. And all the proceeds go to help support families get clean drinking water. It goes to helping people get medical care. It's amazing, but there's going to be so many performers and dancers and ceremonialists. It's a celebration. It's a gathering. It's an amazing moment. So that also, you can register for it at shriandkira.com or shoot me an email and I'll get that out to you too. Or if you're on my newsletter list, you will get an announcement about it all later today. And if you're not on my newsletter list and you want to be, hey, go to selfascensionstudios.com and you can get on my newsletter. You'll see a invitation there, probably on the bottom of, near the bottom of the homepage, and in the contact area you'll see the newsletter. Get on the newsletter and you'll get all the updates about the new moons, classes I'm doing, one-on-one offers, things like that can support beings to lift into their greatest awareness and authenticity and live their dreams fearlessly and out loud, because we all deserve that. And I'm just holding all my love and just beautiful. I just popped in the chat. I can't always look at it the whole time, and I'm just seeing so much love. I'm so happy that, yes, you got here live today, Angela and Mona. Beautiful. I'm so happy that supported you. Yes, the peace, love, joy, that is the order that we must move in. We cannot get to that joy without the peace. The peace births the love births the joy. You've got it. Sacred Grace B, thank you. Ashtara, thank you, and much love. And just trusting. If you couldn't get in on a call, just trusting or try again. And thank you, Alice. Namaste. And oh my gosh, just so many lovely beings here on YouTube and over at Facebook where we're broadcasting as well. Akil, namaste. Just gonna make sure. And purple, namaste. And Pauline, good morning, you all. It's so beautiful to connect with everybody. And if you wanted to call in, if you still want to try to call in, or you're having trouble getting in earlier and want to try again, 517-208-1500, 517-208-1500. We'll get you in and see if we can squeak in another caller or two before we conclude today. We've got another 6 or 7 minutes here together. So I just thank you for letting me take that moment to say all my appreciation and love to this community, whether you just showed up here today and you're just feeling like, oh, I resonate here, or you've been hanging around for a while. That we are all connected, and when you find your soul family, it. And really authenticity and love and sincerity, those all speak, and that's the language that I try to speak here. And so I thank you for being part of it. And in this heart of balance moment, before we end today, to really just be in this moment. And we've all been reminded today that power of breath, and Alice was sharing, it's like to be reminded of that every day. It's powerful, because even if we've been doing this work a long time, we forget the simplicity and power of our breath and the reminder to come back to it. And balance, like you think about your breath, you're receiving and giving, right? With each breath, there's a reception and an integration and a release. And it works with the heart, because the heart is getting that oxygenated blood and pumping it through the body and bringing that which is ready to, which is no longer oxygenated, out of the body, right? And to breathe more in. And we're breathing out that CO2, and we're breathing, right? The plants love it. There's a balance to everything. We're all breathing here on this beautiful planet. And what are you breathing into? Expand beyond your breath as you're breathing in. What are you breathing in? Are you breathing in light, connection, understanding? And as you exhale, what are you exhaling into the world? Can you breathe that love, compassion, wisdom out into the world as you breathe? And notice that you are this beautiful circuit and conduit of the receiving and the giving, the receiving and the giving, right? And the heart that just beats and continuously pumps the essence of life through your body. We cannot live without our breath or our blood. The human form cannot sustain. That sustains our human form, and it opens us up to the greater connection. And look, this whole year is about truth chakra, And the heart has got to be able to lift up into our truth. We've got to be living from our heart to live our truth. And that's the expression that comes out into the world. We can breathe up and through our third eye and our vision, and then our star consciousness that opens wide. And then lift through the crown to our divine connection that is always available. It becomes that much easier to know the answers for where to go next or what to do. It's that much easier to trust ourselves. It's that much easier to know if we're in our heart, because then we're connected to our clarity and that divine wisdom. If we're not there and we're not in balance, how are you receiving love and giving love? Are you fully receiving love, or is there a piece of you that says, I don't deserve it, or I'm not worthy? Then you want to go look at your traditional root chakra and say, I'm worthy because I was born. I'm worthy because I was born. Right? And if there is a issue with the flowing out of giving, is there a part of the being that's in scarcity that says, oh, there's not enough, I have to hold on to everything because I might lose it? Right? So maybe we receive, but we just give little bits out because we're afraid we won't get more. And then we're in the scarcity cycle and we don't really get more because we're holding on and we're not giving out. So can we trust the steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust, the framework of support? Can you be so committed to your path and your heart and your love and your ascension and your awakening consciousness that you can be in that flow of receiving the love of the universe, receiving the abundance? Abundance comes in every way, and send that abundance out into the world, knowing more is coming. Knowing more is coming. So pay attention. If there are areas where there's some scarcity or there's some fear, the Avesa breath coming to our heart, activating here, will help you relax into it. It will help you relax into it. And it will help you know where you do need the healing in your foundation, if there's anywhere in your foundation. And if there's things that are really hard and sticky and patterns or beliefs that you just know are having trouble going, look for the support. Go to a coach or a counselor or energy healer or a therapist that understands, go to a class, get a book, go to where you're guided, find some support, take the Avesa breath trainer, practitioner training, come to the new moon ceremony with me, offer yourself the opportunity to be supported. There's so much support available. Open yourself up to your own guides and helpers. There's so much support available to you. And sometimes we just don't open our eyes to see it. Balance, giving and receiving, harmony, peace, love, joy. Be in your joy bubble. If you have trouble finding what gives you joy, connect with yourself as a young child when you were in a moment of pure joy. Little girl or little boy who was in pure joy and bliss, maybe jumping in the water puddles or catching frogs or skipping or picking flowers or doing art. What did that joy feel like, and how can you bring that into your experience now? That's like your job, is to cultivate your joy. That's how we are changing the world, and we will be rebirthing. We will be rebirthing powerfully with this new moon, with this solar eclipse on the peak up level day of Thursday. Like, be ready, be in your empowered presence, do the practices, enroll in these opportunities, get yourself the support that you truly need in order to continue your journey of expansion, because we're all being called. So get over selfascensionstudios.com and grab the newsletter or check the upcoming events, because I will definitely be sending things out after the show today. and I'm always giving little updates, and check out what I've got going on there. I would love to say hello. Drop me a line, shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. And until I have the pleasure of being with you again, which will be next Tuesday, Soul Fusion Cafe, every Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here at Oneness Talk Radio, www.onenesstalkradio.com, Facebook, YouTube. Hang out, check out the other shows, check out what Sheree and Kara are doing, check out Soul Mirrors tonight. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at onenesstalkradio.com to continue the amazing conversations around what is happening and how we can support ourselves going forward. It's so amazing to connect in this community and know that I love you and I honor you. Keep going, keep thriving, keep shining. Namaste and many blessings.